been too long. It really has.
A long time.
I like that you have taken the time to be on here. I know that you're a busy guy. You always got something going on, and we've tried to link up now for a couple of times, but either you have something or I have something, and the stars aligned. And I just wanted to say thank you for reaching out. Some people think it's like a disrespectful thing where I'm like, hey, I can't do it, or the guest says they can't do it. But like one of the things I liked about you was like you're just like, hey, I'm busy, you're busy, we'll figure it out. And that's how it was for like 4 or 5 months, and then here we are, doing the damn thing. Sometimes that's what it takes.
A lot of guys I had to get butthurt over that stuff.
Oh my God.
No. I learned that, and with film and stuff. It's like, hey, can't do it, and you get mad.
Or they'll think that I don't want to do it. Like I'll be like, they'll say like, hey, can we do like a noon? I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. I want to talk to you. I want to have you on, but I can't do that. So like, if you can't do that, then we just don't do it.
You still got a life?
Yeah, it's a rough conversation. That's probably one of the things. It's like I did not think would be as difficult as it is in the podcasting, I don't know, sphere, is just like booking the guests. Like, and finding a time that works for them, myself, getting a producer involved, because like there's 3 parties involved, right? The guest, me, and then also someone to actually run the damn thing.
Right.
And sometimes like the one that sucks the most is if I can't get a producer, because that's the other thing too, is like, we took 2 weeks off for the holidays because I was like, I don't want to, ask someone to come in a day before New Year's or whatever, if they got to travel or something like that, or then make them feel like they have to stay for me. You know what I mean?
Then it's rushed.
Yeah, and then I also don't want the guest to feel like, because we had one guy who was like, I could do the 30th, and I was like, bro, I don't want to do the 30th of December. I was like, I'm good. Like, if you're good, I'm good. We can do it in February.
Right. Some people try to rush stuff, and there's no reason for it when it's that, at the end of the day, if it's going to get it done, it's going to get done. As long as it's done right, that's, the main thing.
Yeah, that's also the benefit of this, is like it can happen whenever. Like I said with you, 4 or 5 months, but we're here.
Was it 4 to 5 months? It's probably 4 to 5 months. Yeah.
Because I remember, I think it was after the second time I did with Jared, and I sat down with Jared and Terrell. That was the second time it was technically like more of like a Terrell Ursery one, but Jared also wanted to be on there. I was like, yeah, sure. Like during that time, I reached out to you and I was like, hey, if you want to come down and clown, I'm always available.
And Jim jumped in.
Yes. Yeah. Then Jim Jenkins, and you and him I didn't realize you guys were as tight as you were. Did you guys?
I need to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a while, man. I've been so busy, but yeah.
He said very nice things about you.
Oh, well, appreciate
it, And that's actually a good segue to how it is that I've even like known / got acquainted with you. You fought for Jim Jenkins and I fought for Jim Jenkins. And I remember there was a time earlier in my career when I was still training with J.D. Amato. I want to say maybe I was like a 2-0 amateur, like nothing crazy. No one knew who I was.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, like the early in my career, dude.
Oh, yeah. And then you shot up quick.
Well,
you started fighting.
Yeah. Then I started fighting more regularly because early in my career when my mom died, it made things like weird. Like I was trying to figure out life, you know what I mean? And then after a year after that, I kind of got everything in sync. And then when I came back to training, you had started training at Jay's as well, and that's when me and you linked up.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. And we started doing, because you had been training with Jay for like maybe a couple weeks before I came back, and I was like, oh, hey, Adam, what's going on? And then you and I started being good training partners together.
Right.
So shout out to one of my first training partners.
Rest in peace to Jay. Fantastic guy, fantastic coach. What could you not learn from him?
Yeah.
That was the main thing. What could you not learn from him? When it came down to it, he made it real. He made it believable. He made it very understanding of technique, and it was a blessing to be able to train under him. Because when I look at it, I said, if I had Jay as a coach, I don't know where I would have been.
If you didn't have Jay D'Amato.
If I did the whole time.
Oh, even from the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning, I don't know where I would have been at.
Who did you train with at the beginning?
When I first started, I started with Jim
Jenkins,
and then he had, we were at the dojo. It was a dojo around the corner from I can't remember the name, but it was around the corner from Eagles Gym. Okay. Then I went to Slufo, Jason Slufo. That's when I was at Eagles Gym. Then I went over to Titus McDowell because Jason moved out to Hit Squad. He was training Lawler, and it was just too far.
You're talking about Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler. And it was just too far.
Hit Squad was over in Illinois, in Granite City, and that's when they had Matt Hughes. They had the big facility with all the dorms and everything.
Yeah, when you got to see everybody come in, it was just like a fanboy all the time, but I had a great time. I went out there a couple times. And then I went to Titus McDowell, which, we were out of the basement. But first rear naked choke victory, I got that out of him. He taught me a lot. And that's when I met Vaughn and all that. And then I went from there.
When you say Vaughn, you mean Javon,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
When was it in your career then that you how was it that you even found Jay? Did Jim Jenkins tell you to go to Jay? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
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 And when you started
Because I already
training,
know him.
yeah,
He was the ref, still coach. We still cross training like crazy. There was so much stuff going on. Sal, all them. It was just so, everybody it was all brotherly love. I mean, the good days,
dude.
like the good days of fighting before
What it's become today.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I want to be careful how I say this because I'm not trying to besmirch the current fighters, and some of this is probably like roasted in goggles, I will admit, but I do understand what you're saying. I was actually having a conversation with Chris Craig last night, and I told him, I was like, we didn't realize, and I said this with Frazier, we didn't realize we were living in like the golden age of MMA.
Yeah.
Until it was done.
Yeah.
And now, like, I do agree with you. Back then, when MMA was still like up and coming, this is when like George St. Pierre was in the UFC during his reign, and the WEC had just connected with the UFC. Yep. So like to give people some context of like where we're at in chronological, that's how it was down here. Like there were so many gyms and so many fighters that like even the amateurs had rankings and then the pros had rankings. And it was a big deal when someone made it to the UFC, like the whole town, the whole city kind of like got behind them. Like I remember when Sampo got signed and Alp got signed and Lance before that. And every time someone would get signed and actually make it out of the local scene to the UFC, I mean, it was like a buzz amongst all of us. Yes, like collectively. Now it seems a little bit more commercial. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Very commercial, but since we know, I mean, it's like, I guess we could say commercial. Yeah, I mean, that's the best.
It just feels like there's not as much soul in it. Does that make sense?
It seems like, just like saying some people fight, I just want to fight for the money. And it's like, okay, back then people were fighting to get to the next level. Amateurs probably some people had 20-something fights, some had 40 fights.
Yeah.
So, and then it was, a big deal to go pro with some of the gyms. We still have some of, the best gyms in St. Louis, but at the same time, now all those gyms are no more. It's like we don't see
have
Hit
burgers,
Squad.
you don't have Hit Squad, you don't have a lot of them.
Yeah.
And some of them have like reopened with like under like so Jared, for instance, like MCS, like he like closed down the doors for himself, but then like reopened them. He still has MCS, but like under the Eagles gym banner, you know what I mean? So like some of this has also taken a different shape. And it's not to say that like a lot of people have come and gone. Yes, a lot of people have come and gone, but you do still see like, I mean, Jared's been in the game, 15 years?
Yeah.
Mike Rogers has been in the game for 20 years, you know what I mean?
Forever.
So like there are some guys that are still like doing the damn thing. I mean, now it's getting to the point now where the Wolves Den has been existing longer than some of the gyms that we were talking about. Like I'm pretty sure the Wolves Den has now existed longer as an MMA gym than Burger's gym did. Steve Burgers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
we can say that. We can say that.
Because I don't think Burger's gym was open for a decade plus.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, I don't know.
I'm not, sitting there with like an Excel spreadsheet and like doing the dates, you know what I mean? So like if I'm off by like, actually, Ariana's been 6 months, okay, fine, you got me on this one. But what I'm trying to say is they're doing well. They're producing a lot of fighters. St. Charles MMA is still in it. So like, I'm not saying as if the face of MMA has completely changed. There's still a lot of the structure that was there when we were there. But I would say that the thing that, I said this with Mike Green, the thing that's different now is the fighters.
Yeah.
Like there's no charisma. There's no story. There's no like now the only variable that anybody pays attention to is like the acumen of fighting, and that's kind of diluted everybody because like everybody's so good at fighting now. Like everybody's so good. So like now everybody's a beast, which is great. But then it's like you're looking for something to latch onto.
Right.
Either a story or some charisma or like an interview. Like, give me a reason to be invested. Give me a reason to care. Because you're telling me that you're the next best thing since sliced bread. So are the other 10 guys. And by the
Right.
way, you're all fucking killers. You're all jacked. You're all fast. You're all explosive. All deadly. Why should I care about you specifically over the other guy?
Yeah, or I mean, no personality. I mean, we can really say that, out of old school guys that actually made it to the UFC and that are doing good. Sean Woodson, Charles Johnson. He's just on the game now. Just got on the UFC game. We have
Shout out Charles. Yeah.
Yeah, we have and then we have other
Buckley, Evan Elder.
Yeah, Evan Elder, and those are from the old school, which is good. We can say that Charles has not been climbing the ranks, doesn't have a story. We can't say Sean doesn't have a story. We can't say we'll say
Dakota Bush or Evan Elder or Joaquin Buckley.
Mm-hmm. Even Javon, right? We can't say that he didn't have a story, but those are 7 guys out of all those guys from back in the day.
Well, there was a lot of guys that came and went as well. Like we said earlier, like Alp and Sampo and Lance Benoist. Like we're talking about the guys that are currently in the UFC, sure. But like there was also like a class of people before that. You could talk about like, Adam Sella wasn't in the UFC, but then like was in Tough and everything. And then same with Dustin Lampros. He made it to Tough, not to the UFC, but there have been guys that made splashes. Dakota Bush was in the UFC, is now signed with PFL. Mm-hmm. We've done a good job, like as if I've done anything. St. Louis has done a good job of facilitating and being a good like fostering ground for fighters to come up. Yeah. But it also seems like at the same time we could have done better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we could have. But that was those cliquish ways that I think a little bit. From
hindsight's 20/20 easily.
St. Louis was
proud.
Yeah,
there was a lot of pride in sections and gyms
and that was, I think, that to me maybe a little bit of a downfall, but not. I mean, especially with fighters saying, "Okay, can I cross train?"
Yeah,
you know how it goes.
Well, it's good and bad, right? Because like that pride will fuel you to be better, but then also kind of maybe it prevents you from cross training because guys are like too proud and they're like, no, we know what's best and we don't want you going anywhere and all this other stuff. I think that's changing now. I think cross training is kind of like you cannot be an elite fighter and not cross train. I don't think that there is any one person who knows everything. You know what I mean? And I think the best way to do it is actually like what we're seeing happen now, where people will go and have a camp at the place that they're like comfortable with, but then when they're out of camp, that's when they travel. Right. So it's like when I'm not training for a fight, when I don't need to dial in and get my nutrition in order and make sure that I'm training intelligently and get my recovery and everything on the path. Mm-hmm. I have 10 weeks to peak at a certain time. And you know what I mean? All the variables need to be in place. When I'm not in that environment, let's go fucking travel to, Toronto. Let's go travel to Brazil. Let's go travel to Thailand, the West Coast or the East Coast or go to Bang Muay Thai. Like go anywhere. Go to Tiger Muay Thai, go to Bang Muay Thai. Like go anywhere, train everywhere, see everything. And then when it's time to fight, bring it back. And then you are now like the purveyor of this knowledge, and your gym will benefit from that. Yes. Because you'll go out and learn some shit, and then you'll bring it back to St. Louis and train the guys. If you train in St. Louis, maybe you train in Kansas City, maybe you train wherever.
There's no such thing as being a gatekeeper when it comes down to learning new knowledge, especially when you have, teammates.
It's not yours to gatekeep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't own it. It's borrowed, right? Like someone taught me, I'll teach other people, and then they'll teach other people. Right. I don't own this.
Right. I mean, to me, that's how I look at it. That's how I look. I mean, because the main thing about it is you got, you learn so many different things from so many different coaches. And when it's all said and done, okay, let me use this. Like Jim always said, if this doesn't, pull something out the tool. Was it Jim or was it
Jay? Jay would say that.
It was pull. If that doesn't work, go back to the toolbox, pull something else out. If that don't work, go back, use that. Now it works. And it's just those gems will always work, and then it works with other teams. I mean, other coaches, other fighters. Maybe a fighter might know more than another coach. It's just.
Well, it's also, I think you need to have that good relationship where the coach's job is to expand your knowledge and capabilities, but it's not their job to do for you or to think for you. And that's really hard because, like, you want your fighter to be smart enough to also in real time have to navigate those waters when it comes time. Like, imagine you have a fighter who, like, they listen to you. And
Right.
everything you tell them, they're like a sponge. Like, okay, coach, I'll do it. But then when they go out to fight, they're waiting for you to give them instruction. You have to be able to also like isolate yourself and expand past the coach to do it in real time.
Right.
You can't have me yelling out every combination and all of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
At some point, you got to get to the point where you're like, I already know after years of training with you, or perhaps we have like a similar style or similar characteristics, that like there's a lot of things that, you know, don't necessarily need to be said, or more importantly, you've said enough for me to now run with it.
Or
you don't have to tell me everything. I can kind of pick and choose the pieces that work for me, my body type. I'm sure like the way you fight is completely different from the way I fight. You might have characteristics that I don't have, right? You might be more explosive, or maybe your grappling's better, or maybe you have more push-pull muscles.
Your grappling's better. You know
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, whatever the variables are, you know what I mean? So like we had the same coach, but we could still fight in different ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to good coaching, is like understanding the base and then letting people flourish. Not everybody's going to look the same. Not everyone's going to be the same.
And you know, sometimes you'll see, and I don't knock anybody that does it, but you know, main thing about it is just with Jay. What I took from that, going back to the toolbox, doing this, if we have done drills, like how we used to do drills. That's one thing I tell some of my students or fighters, like with Vaughn, we're gonna run drills. We're gonna run it. Because the main thing about it is if you get out there, why would I have to say it? Why would I say what you're gonna do?
Well, not just that, he knows how to fight.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Practice fighting? You already know how.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
what we're practicing is the things that you don't know how to do when you're fighting. Parry drills, head movement drills, these things, like you don't necessarily, I think there's a place for sparring. Like I don't want to get to this, I don't want to say like, you know, sparring doesn't have a purpose. I think it does. But I also think that once you get to a certain level, you're not just sparring like anybody. You're not just going to Sunday fun days anymore to see who the biggest and baddest is. I think those rounds have a purpose, especially early in your career, to see like what you're cut from and what you're made from. But like once you get like year 5, 6, 7, now you're getting like later half of your 20s. Well, now I have like a couple training partners. Like near the latter half of my career, I didn't spar with just anybody. I sparred with my guys. I sparred with my guys, and we went hard, and there'd be days where we had bloody noses and busted lips and stuff like that, but the reason I sparred with them was, number one, they could hang. I knew they could hang. And number two, I trusted them.
Right.
I knew that if I cracked them, they're not trying to crack me to hurt me.
Right.
Or if they crack me, I'm not going to try to crack them to hurt them. Like, we understood why we were there, and I trusted them. It sounds stupid.
No,
it sounds
you know
crazy.
it's not, but I mean,
every fighter is going to hear me and go, yep, I got that one or two guys. You know what I mean? I mean, hell, to the point, once you get so good, you have to start paying people, because like you're so deadly that it's actually like to the detriment of the people in there with you.
Right. Just like, you know, we see the greats, you know, just we would say if we went into boxing, you know, Tyson or any other guys.
Yeah, they paid all their sparring partners.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I look at it as, you know, because a lot of people don't understand. I think I was talking to this. I got a good guy named Vaughn. You'll meet him. Another Vaughn. He trains with Devin Alexander. You know, works with the kids and all that.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a good one. But at the same time, it's like when it comes down to it, you'll get in the gym with somebody, and it's like, okay, are we doing 70%? Are we doing 50? Are we starting at 40? Are we starting at 30? So we can get there, because once you get cracked, then the ego gets up, and it's like,
it turns into a fight.
It's like, what are we learning?
Yeah,
you know,
you're not.
I did all these drills, and now I want to drill them in my sparring session, and now I can't because I gotta do counterpunch, or I gotta fight for my life because you're trying to knock my head off.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Yeah.
You know?
And everyone's been in those rounds. And that's the other thing, is like if you've trained long enough, you've been in those rounds where you could pinpoint the actual point in that spar where it went from training to now we're fighting.
Or some of them, are they fight scared?
What do you mean they fight scared?
So let's say let's say we're in a fight. The same kick that you might throw in a fight, that's just reaction. You might be in that sparring session. It's like boom. It's just a scary type of kick. I've been kicked in my stomach. It's like, I know for a fact you had to be scared because you kicked me hard where it knocked me down. It's like, what are you kicking me?
You mean like out of self-defense, like they're trying to get you off of them. Like I'm scared, I don't want to get cracked, so I'm gonna throw this like just to get you off of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. Like training scared. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I don't know, man. All I know is I was very blessed to have Jay. I'm glad that he was my first coach, and I'm glad that you got to train with him. even at some point in your career. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I got to train with you.
Same.
Post that though,
You
if you don't,
so young.
me?
Yeah, you were so young.
Oh yeah, dude,
so
I was,
happy.
what, 19, 20? Wet behind the ears. I would come to practice like, I'm ready to train, guys. Adam's like, all right, shut up.
I was like 35, man, when we trained.
Really?
Because when I'm 40, gonna be 44.
Damn, man, black don't crack.
Nah, just stay in shape. That's it. Yeah.
Aging like wine.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm
Well,
grateful.
That's why I wanted to ask, because I know, so outside of the martial arts and stuff like that, you do two things that I know that you take very seriously, and that's personal training or physical fitness, and also the acting world. Before we talk about like the acting and the theatrical arts, let's talk about personal training, physical therapy, and all these other things. Like, I know that you have people that you train and you get in shape, but I also know that you do like strength and conditioning with like everybody from Javon to, I'm sure, soccer moms, right? So walk me through that. What's that like?
So I'm a health and wellness coach. That's that umbrella, and then I do nutrition. The personal training, strength and conditioning. I'm Von's Wolfman Wright's strength and conditioning coach, nutritionist, and really trying to tap into other guys. I left it alone for a minute because it's like, do I want to do this? Because sometimes you come down to it where it's like, I just want to do something different. I don't want to, be in charge of people when it came down to it. But health is my full thing. This is all I do. This is one thing I always know. I've been training people since high school.
When you say you don't want to be in charge of people, can you expand what you mean by that?
Sometimes that accountability yeah, you know how it goes. They're
basically asking you for every little thing. Can I eat this? Can I do that? What should I work on today? And you're kind of what we were saying earlier about coaching. It's like, hey, I got to give you the building blocks, and then you got to take a little bit of that initiative yourself.
You got to learn yourself. You got to learn what you don't want to eat. We'll lay that down from the jump, but then certain people get a little lazy. It's like when it comes down to, you want to drop 10 pounds? Cool. So I can only tell you what to do. What are you going to do now? I can give you everything that you need, all the building blocks. So are you going to take it in, or are you going to tell me, okay, I want a russet potato. I told you to eat a sweet potato. And to tell you why, we break it down of why. So that's one of the things. But when it's all said and done, who else is going to give it to them?
I feel like that's got to be more exhausting than anything else. It's like having to keep on people.
It is. You're
basically like not a parental figure, but kind of like the bad guy. Like, hey, don't do that. Yeah. Hey, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. And then when it comes down to it, it's either you like me or you don't. I'm not here for you to like me, but you will enjoy the time you have with me. But you will like me. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to give you what you need. And it goes down to that. Even when it comes down to like the strength and conditioning workouts, people are like, oh man, I can't believe you gave me this, but you see me doing it.
Yeah.
You don't see your coach walking around a machine and saying, oh, stomach out. And, you see me literally do this. You see my age compared to how I look, compared to what I take into my body. You see that. You see if you, like I'll tell guys, it's like, okay, some guys, they might drink. I say, you can do that, but let's make sure that we have a gallon and a half of water. Let's make sure that we make it make sense, because your body has to be hydrated. It's a lot of things that people don't know, and it's like the best thing about it is having a coach, having somebody that's going to tell them, guide them, without whoever they are, guide them to where they need to be. If you blame me for something, okay, you see why this happened, and they'll figure it out why it happened. I'm telling you this for a reason, just for the future when we go through this other workout, or to get you to this level. I'm telling you this here, so when we get here, you understand it better, and then people start understanding exactly where I'm coming from.
The people that you train, what is like the most common reason they come to you? Do weight loss, wellness, high performing athletes? Like, what is the most common person that comes through the doors, quote unquote?
It can be weight loss, or it could be performance.
Both of those?
Yeah, it's usually weight loss. Ladies, weight loss. I can say maybe my 20-year-olds, 30-something and down, it's all performance.
Yeah, they're still playing sports. Yeah. They're still competing.
Either they're playing sports. Either they want to be more explosive. Either they want to get cut. You know, because a lot of people see me and they be like, oh wow, you know, yeah. And one thing I do, especially like what I'm doing now with guys, since I'm cutting weight, and I'll tell them, this is a workout you're doing. This is what I'm eating. We don't have the same body types, but this is what I'm doing, and I'm natural. I'm not taking TR. I'm natty. I'm not doing none of the stuff that's gonna say, oh, you know, because it's cool to do that now. You know.
I don't think so, actually.
Well,
But
say it.
Here's the problem. I'm not in the health and wellness thing, but like I will say that for men now, the number of men that I know over the age of 40 is only growing as I age, right? And the amount of people that are on stuff now, I'm on two sides of the fence on this one because like so my whole career in fighting, I always frowned upon any sort of like extracurriculars. It was like you're cheating,
especially in fighting.
You know what I mean? Like if it's like golf or baseball, like non-contact sports, I didn't really care, to be honest. But like football or fighting or something like that, I'm like, dude, if you're fucking juiced up and now that means you could run, 5 yards faster and now you're gonna crack some guy, like that fucking sucks. Or you take all this shit and now you're recovering better, so you're training harder, so now you're going into the fight, juice to the gills, and now you like separate this guy from his consciousness. Would you have done that without the sauce? You know what I mean?
Right.
But so that's one side of it where I'm kind of like, I've taken nothing. This body is my Taco Bell and bad decisions, right? But then I see the other side of it, and it's like, you got the 45-year-old who did football his whole life, or the fighter who got hit a lot, and now, his hormonal imbalance is there because he might have some like minor CTE and stuff like that. So it's not even necessarily like they're taking it to be a certain way. They're taking it to be normal, to have a functioning life. You know what I mean? So it's weird. But then I think to myself, like, how many of these people also do it because of like poor diet?
That's what I see.
Or poor lifestyle. So like the thing is you're low T because you're not working out, because your diet is shit, because you're not doing anything. So now like your T levels are low because your whole lifestyle doesn't necessarily, your lifestyle doesn't require you to have high T levels. You don't do anything that high T people do, so it's like, of course your body's going to start producing less and less of it. So then you feel worse, and then you go and inject it. It's like, well, you could just change your lifestyle. Now, that's not for everybody, and I want to be careful how I say this because I've had some HRT people on, and I understand that for a lot of people, like, you can have the good diet, you can have the workouts and everything like that, and it's still a hormonal imbalance. I get that. That's not what I'm talking about too. Like there are a lot of people that they want to take the Ozempic. They want to take the pill. They want to do the rub, whatever it is. They don't want to do the work.
They don't want to do the work, and then they figure out that it's not their body's really depleting because of it. It's not working like it's supposed to. I see
Ozempic scares the shit out of me.
You see what happens to them people, and then they're
they
saying,
erode.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, well, my appetite is suppressed. Like, yeah, but the calcium in your bones decrease. The protein efficiency in your muscles decrease. I'm like, dude, you're literally
and
like,
you're not trying to even lift weights. You're
just trying to get small.
You're focused on the appearance. It's like where the world got. Even with some of the guys that are on, testosterone when it's all said and done, or TRT, whatever the name of it is. But when it's said and done, they want to do it for the look.
Is that so bad? Because for the look, I'm actually okay with that. If you want to look jacked,
workout, just like push.
Yeah, but this goes back to like the athlete in me. It's like, are they hitting somebody? Are they punching somebody? Like if that guy wants or girl wants to look a certain way, and they're willing to pay the price to do it, who am I to like? As long as they're not, fucking taking that and then here's the caveat where I don't agree with it, is if they're doing that and then saying they're natural. That I wouldn't necessarily agree with.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Because then you're lying to people.
And that's what I'm
But if you're
about.
saying like, no, I take the juice and this is how I get, I would not be this big and strong and cut without the stuff. Well, who am I to blame you then?
I see those
At least
guys
you're transparent.
doing those pictures. It's like, man, you were my actual student.
Well, Liver King, I think, was like the prime example of like the guy who kind of lied about it.
Yeah, I think that
And
was
then
what started.
build a company with it and everything. So, I do want to, I am sympathetic to the people that have the argument that like there's a slew of individuals that lie about it, say they're natural, and then the goal is some sort of commercial aspect. Like, you can also look like this too with my plan for $30. Buy it now. And it's like, no, dude, you're taking 3-4 different not over the counter, but prescription medications, and you have a physician, and you're on cycle. Like, what are you talking about?
And that right there. So I look at that. I can say that. Like anything else, as of if you need it for health, if like just like with the sleeve or zip, like if you need it for certain things, totally understandable. But if you're doing it for a certain reason, you're trying to do you're trying to be
A fit influencer.
a fit influencer or something like that, and it's like, dude, you're cheating for one, and then you're guiding everybody else to something that you don't even know that's gonna work for them. Like you don't even know yourself. Like that's the thing. A lot of people don't know themselves where it comes down to it. Where in this case, let's say, hopefully it's picking up. 'Cause I know I'm talking to you this way.
You're fine.
Like what I looked at, a lot of people don't love themselves to be true.
They don't love themselves
Don't love
to be
themselves
true.
to be true to themselves, to be true to what they're actually going to tell somebody else. Let's say if I said I'm doing testosterone, but I'm lying to you and saying I'm not, I don't love myself to me because I'm not even being real. And a lot of people do that. It's like right now, it's like you got people in front of the mirrors, trying to look a certain way, trying to guide people, and it's like, geez, that's what one thing pushed me away from the fitness world, because it's like I'm trying to really help people, but at the same time, I'm getting combated against people that just want to look a certain way, the fake bodies, the fake this, the fake that, and it's like, geez, where do we get to? I remember when, I'm reading National Academy of Sports Medicine, International Science Association, all that stuff. I'm reading, it's like the old textbook ways, of a body, of how, people are supposed to, the love of health, especially with health and wellness. Now you have people that I just want to look this way to either get a guy, get a girl, whatever, get some more money, but they're not even keeping up with their own program that they built.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it possible for someone to still achieve the same aspect of what you love in this world, but not for the same reason? So like what you are describing as love for like health and wellness, okay? And you're like natural, quote unquote. But then someone else is like, well, you know what? I really don't give a shit about nutrition. I really don't give a shit about any of this stuff. Like none of this stuff I'm passionate about. But what I'm passionate about is I want to get girls. So like I'm not eating good because I care about eating good. And I'm not working out because I really care about working out. I'm trying to get the best body I can to attract girls. Is that so wrong? If they're going about it the right way, I mean, you're getting to the same destination, just two different paths, right? Yours is of passion and a love for the craft, while theirs is just a means to an end. Is that so bad?
I mean, it's them, so I guess not.
But as long as, and I think the middle ground is as long as we're not starting to lie, as long as we're not beginning to be fraudulent about it, or as long as, I'll even go as far as to say, as long as you're not, putting yourself in danger, because that's the thing.
Putting other people in danger is the main thing too.
Well, even it starts with yourself, because like here's the truth of the matter is, if you're not doing that, even if you are doing this under the careful consideration of a physician, there are things that can go wrong. You're introducing foreign substances to your body.
Right.
There can be rebounds. There can be reactions. There can be allergic reactions. There can be a multitude of things that go wrong. And just because things don't go wrong doesn't mean that there's not a risk to that.
Right.
Or that you're changing your physiological condition going forward. There's a lot of guys who directly now in their 40s have issues with HRT because they did shit when they were younger. And their endocrine system is now fucked for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Like I think Vitor Belfort openly talked about how he was juicing so hard that now in his life, like he has to take something because his body doesn't produce its own testosterone.
I wanted to know about that. I'm like, man, because I knew in the past he was, but it's like, man, why do you still look so good? How do you still look so good?
Because he's on the sauce now. But here's the thing.
I thought he got off.
I'm fairly certain. I don't want to dwell too much on this. If it wasn't Vitor, it was someone in the fighting community. But I'm pretty sure it was Vitor, where he was now open and just saying, because the interview was like about like doing a Legends League. Like Vitor was talking about how he would love if like one of these MMA promotions did like a 50 and up, and basically said like, if you guys want to juice, if you guys want to do whatever you guys want to do, just for the love of the game, like we'll let you. But the problem is no state athletic commission is going to allow that. Right. No state athletic commission is going to be like, oh, you guys are 50 years old with 30 years of head trauma and you want to shoot up whatever hormones you can and get back out there for old time's sake. Like, fuck no, you know what I mean? And then he was talking about like, well, I'm not even taking any sort of performance enhancing drugs anymore to enhance my performance. I'm just doing it for lifestyle. Like I don't produce because I did. And he kind
Understandable.
of ratted on everybody. He was like, dude, back in the day,
Yeah, yeah,
everybody was on it.
yeah. I mean, they said, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. I think the UFC world, old school. I think a lot of people were on it, right?
I think the majority.
Yeah. I mean, you're fighting different weight classes.
Dude, when USADA came in, fighters fell
Yeah.
off.
They ran.
No, not they ran. I mean, like guys just like went from like jack to pudgy, or like they looked like world beaters before, and then afterwards they're like, dude, what is going on?
Their performance is off.
Who is the guy that that almost beat GSP? Johnny? No, yeah. Oh my God, I should know this. He fought Robbie Lawler for the belt after GSP retired. I forget his name. I think his nickname was Big Rig. Anyway, no, I need to. I need to do this because I'm not. I don't want to be like, oh, whatever. So I think his name was Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks. His nickname was Big Rig. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Johnny Hendricks is like my poster child for. I think he was juicing because before that GSP fight, they were having this like whole VADA USADA like thing, and then the entity that George St. Pierre wanted, USADA, would then go on to be the first drug testing corporation that the UFC would work with,
Right.
not VADA.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then Johnny Hendricks under USADA fell off.
Right.
Couldn't make weight. Couldn't consistently
he
train. Started getting a gut. I mean, now he's just like, by the time he was done, I mean, Paulo Costa put a beating on him that made me go, this isn't even a fair fight. I don't even like watching this anymore. Like, Johnny's getting his ass beat. But then you have to do it in the context of like, this guy was almost the world
He
champion.
was a shit, and then he just.
Dude, fell
It's
off.
like when he got his ass whooped, he got his ass whooped.
And some guys got better. A lot of guys fell off, and a lot of bodies started changing. Like Overeem and everybody overnight, they went from like when Alistair Overeem fought Brock Lesnar, he looked like an alien, just jacked. And then like 2 years later when he's fighting, or 3 years later when he's fighting Francis Ngannou, kind of a bit of a dad bod.
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way, but like kind of a bit of a dad bod.
And now he looks like he's just.
Well, I think he's back on the sauce now because he's retired. That's the thing. The guys retire. They're not in the USADA pool, so then they get back on the sauce.
And you never know what AI does. Because that's like I'll see something. It's like, man, he's skinny.
That too.
Man, like,
You can't really rely on anything you see on Instagram and social media anymore. Yeah. But long story short, I think that there is a time and a place for like HRT and TRT and all these other things, but I just think it has to be separated from athletics completely.
It does. And I can totally see, okay, yeah. Me taking that, even though I don't, me taking something for better performance for me. And that's it. If I'm not a trainer, if I'm just kicking it with the shits with my guys and, whatever, but I want to make sure I'm the best, then I understand. And I'm not trying to train anybody. I'm not trying to push anybody, persuade anybody. Then to me, I think it's all right. But any other way, I'm cool.
Yeah. All frauds in all fields.
They got those guys that say, oh, you natty? Well, I forgot his name. He's like, he goes to everybody, you natty, and everybody's saying now, it's so good. Oh, no, I'm not. People used to run and hide from it. Some people still do.
Well, I can respect that then, right? Isn't that a good thing? Like, you natty, and they're like, no, I'm not. Well, good.
Like, yeah, to me, it's like, I love it. You're being truthful.
Be honest.
I forgot what his name, but he's a YouTube guy. But it's like
doing the Lord's work.
Yeah,
there's a guy by the name of his YouTube channel is More Plates, More Dates, and I think like all he does like on his YouTube channel is basically like looks at people's physiques and like their workout regimen and be like, this guy's not like, there's no way this guy's natty, like, or natural, and he'll even sometimes like, he's got to be on this, he's got to be on that, he's probably on cycle at this time because look at his body, like he's like really good at this, and like he's like a forensic analysis research on that shit. Yeah. I think he's got a degree, or like his background is in like that field, so like it's not just like he's like, oh, he looks natty. He'll say like he's probably on progesterone, he's probably on this, he's probably on that, and you're like, oh shit, dude.
You 150 pounds and you're lifting whatever, it's 100. You're 150 pounds and you're doing underhand rolls or what the
100-pound dumbbells or whatever, but like, also your back looks like it's made out of leather. You know what I mean?
I can say, and I'll be real with you, and I always tell my students this, because I know in high school I benched. Well, I was 159 pounds. I was benching 300.
Oh, attaboy.
Yeah, but I was on what was it? I don't know
Creatine?
what it was. It was called the B. Hell no. I was on, man, creatine to me. I just.
Is there any product that you do take that you would tell people about?
Take Shilajit. Shilajit's erases testosterone, but it gives you energy. I take Cardio 911, more for the heart, but it for some reason this stuff is amazing with the lungs.
Okay. Is this all over the counter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So no prescription.
Yeah, I'm not taking. Yeah,
you can get this at any GNC or any. Gotcha.
Or you can just order it on
Online.
Amazon or some mom and pops health food stores. Yeah, I don't take anything like I did when they were doing whenever doing testosterone. I don't know what it was. It was called the Beast. I'll never forget. It was 1999, 2000, and I was taking that, and it started messing with my head, so I got off of it. I used to fight a lot in the street. I used to love that just because of that. But I'm like, nah. It
Really?
sprayed under my tongue. So I don't knock a person, experimenting, but it's like when you're leading them to astray, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like you never know what that person, and it'll go back to, it's like what, 5 years he's shaking. Look what you did to me.
Yeah.
It's like, well, look what you told me, and so I don't.
You don't want that on your conscience either.
I don't want that on my conscience.
Yeah, I can understand that, man. I do want to ask, because a different thing about you is you're into like the theatrical arts, like you're into acting, producing, which I got to be honest with you, even kind of surprised me, because like I remember when I first met you, I was like, you were kind of like everybody else I knew, like cool guy, into martial arts, fighter guy, and then I realized like one of your extracurriculars is like you're also in the film industry. And I was like, okay, that's completely out of left field for me, especially for, I think when we first hung out and first started training, like you never even brought it up.
I never even,
you know what I mean? You never even talked to me about it. So like until I started seeing some of your stuff on Facebook, I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know this was like I didn't even know this was an interest of yours, let alone some of the work that you've done since then. I mean, it's been a decade plus. So you've had time to perfect the craft, I think they call it.
Yeah.
Let's start with, how did you get into acting? How'd you get into modeling? How'd you get into that world? Why?
Well, I was doing modeling back in the day before I started fighting, like in 2007. But see, my mother used to take me to the movie theaters every Friday. So, and I came back from California, so, but that didn't have anything to do with it. But she took me to the movie theaters every Friday. When I came here, I went to the movie theaters every Friday. So that stuck as oh man, acting, I love movies, 90s movies, 80s movies, So when I got out of, when I stopped fighting,
when did you stop fighting?
I stopped fighting. I think my last fight was 2015. Like I jumped back in, and then I was like, I
did it.
Yeah, it's like even now I want to take take a couple fights just cause, but it's nothing to me saying, oh man, because I'm too busy with other things. Plus it's like when I might have to look a certain way for a film, just like I'm dealing with now. It's like I'm in a series, and say if I want to fight at 170, which that's what I want to do, but how am I gonna look 170 when I'm 190 on this film? There's no way.
What do you walk around at? 200, 190?
I think. Hopefully, because I got so much muscle, hopefully like 190 now. I'm scared to step on the scale. I'm to the point where I'm dropping down, and then I'll say, okay, let me jump on the scale. Let me see where I'm at. So yesterday I had have some carbs, so now I'm cutting it back down. Then I'll jump on the scale probably Monday to see really where I'm at, to judge it. But what I did, when I stopped fighting, I went in like deep depression, bro. Because again, when I fought every month, we used to go to Branson and fight. You're networking with other people that fight. It's your
world.
Yeah, it's
all your friends are
life.
fighters.
Yeah, it's life.
You when you introduce yourself, you're like, hey, I'm Adam. I fight. Like it's
or they know you already.
It's a lot of purpose comes from that. There's a lot of guys that say that that retiring is difficult for not. Obviously they miss fighting, and obviously they miss like the world and everything. But the number one reason is like, well, this was my identity. This was such a big part of me. Now it's like kind of gone.
Yep.
A lot of guys have trouble bouncing
back. That's all
back.
they know. That's them. Like even with it, when it's like when I stopped fighting, I started drinking. I never was a drinker, and I started really drinking. I started drinking alcohol then.
To what? Just get
just to,
Get fucked up so that you didn't think about it.
I guess that's what it was, because I was personal training. It's like I always been personal training, so it was easy to go back and personal train. And I'm sitting back and working my job, and I'm personal training. Nothing. A good amount of women, but it's like, is this life?
Yeah.
So, when it was all said and done, I had a guy. I still work I still work at my same job that I've been at almost 15 years. And he trained me, but he was going to be an actor. And that's what made it real, because when I seen that, when I seen that he was in Atlanta, he was actually making some stuff happen, and it's like, okay, this is the first time I'm seeing a black guy at that, being an actor, and really I know him. And I'm like, dang, that I know. I'm like, dang, this can happen. So I started going to acting classes, creative actors. I really started from there. I think I've been acting since 2013. About 2013, taking it serious since 2012, taking it serious since 2014.
So you got into acting because you were interested in theater and you were interested in movies from the perspective of a consumer. And then as you aged a little bit, there was a moment where you kind of got this mentor who's also black, so it kind of made you feel like, well,
No, it was
if he can
before.
do it. Sorry,
Yeah,
before.
no, he wasn't even a mentor. It was just like, oh, okay, wow, a good friend. But it's like, wow, okay, I see that. And it just made me say, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So once I started doing the acting classes, then I started seeing that, which a lot of people, I guess, don't understand, that acting is a whole nother world.
Yeah.
Which people think, oh, I can act. You can play yourself on screen?
Well, here's the problem, though. That's the same thing with fighting. Like, you can go in there and fight. Like no one's stopping you from acting.
Yeah.
You're going to act really badly, and no one's stopping you from getting into the cage without any training.
Yeah.
You're not going to like the outcome. So, like,
Right.
the problem is these crafts, anybody can literally go do, which makes everybody think, like, well, anyone can go do it. I get, you know what I mean? It kind of gives you this
right there.
false
Yeah.
sense of security or reality. So, like, the truth of the matter is, I hate to say it this way, they're not wrong, but they are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like, no, you can act, right? But if you're going to be around a good actor, you can't act. You can fight in a cage, but when you're around all fighters, you can't fight in a cage.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. And that was the thing. It's like, once I started doing the acting and really learning the actual craft and loving the craft and loving, okay, what makes me be a better actor, tuning into your self-conscious. It's so many different ways. And, well, not so many different ways. It's like really two. But learning the craft of acting and learning how to play different characters, learning how to turn the character off. Like, I did my first film was like a psychopath. Man, I never forget. I was up like 3 days and I was still working, and we were filming it. I produced it. We shot it. Some guys came from Chicago to shoot it. Had a nice little crew. It was just a nice little fight scene. And I went home and flipped out on my mother. I was still in character. And I know how to jump out of character, but if you don't, I'm playing a psychopath. So it's like, it's certain things that people don't understand. Just like who died? What was his name? Joker.
Oh, Heath Ledger.
Same. If you get wrapped in that character, you think, either you're doing method acting or something like this, and you're playing that character, and you're all. It's like, you got to shut it off sometime.
What is that like, the world of acting compared to martial arts? Because I've been around some people, like, in comedy, and it feels like comedians have their world. I know for a fact that fighters have, like, we have our world. You know what I mean? Would you say that it's, like, fair to assume, like, actors and actresses, when they congregate together, they have, like, their own world, their own norms, their own paths, where they're networking with amongst each other, for each other, with each other?
Yeah, I guess I look at it as, I'm in St. Louis too, so
I guess what I'm trying to ask is, what is acting like compared to fighting? Because I understand what fighting is like. Like, is it similar to fighting, where there's, like, a lot of egos and some people are cross training, so they're helping one another?
Yeah.
But acting is a little different, because, like, you do need a group of people to do something, right? It's not just like one actor is going to go out there. You're going to need a film crew. And there's also differences, because it's like, in fighting, when you go out to fight, the boxing coach isn't fighting, but he
Right.
helped you with that camp.
Right.
The 5 training partners you had aren't fighting, but they helped you with that camp. It's the
Right.
same thing with like a movie, right? It's like, so yeah, the actor's on the big screen, but how you don't see makeup, you don't see lighting, you don't see audio, you don't see all these other people that allowed for this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking there's some similarities and some differences, but I'd be curious to ask you.
It's similarities. I mean, in this case, we bring it down to there is egos for sure. Usually in everything. But yeah, people help other people. I mean, say I go to Atlanta, I have jumped into, would help people in Atlanta, either fitness or just jumped in to play a scene or anything. It's all love. As long as you know what you're doing and not trying to play a game and like, okay, I jump on and I'm making it make sense. But when it's all said and done, I mean, to me, it's the same. It's the same. Long as you know where you're at in acting, and usually a person will know. It's like if I have trouble, if I don't know my lines, and I'm playing like I do, boom, it's smoked out. But as of the same thing, it's the same.
Meaning you can't bullshit.
You can't bullshit.
People know, oh, this motherfucker didn't read the script.
I didn't read the script. I didn't memorize the lines. I don't know the character. I mean, you can't bullshit. You can't bullshit the director. You can't bullshit with this. You got to come with your A game. So it's certain sets that you got to come with your A game. It's certain sets that are just amateur players.
Mm.
What
would you say that you enjoyed more, fighting or acting?
Fighting.
Really?
Yeah. Fighting to me, as of training, being around, like I'm a man's man. I'm an aggressive guy. I like to be around aggressive men, smart men. A man's man, we'll say,
It's funny that you say you would I would never describe you as aggressive.
Well,
I've never even seen you be aggressive.
Yeah, because I'm always, hey,
No, yeah.
Because again, we're fighting. It's like that. Sometimes you'll get some people have that where they're aggressive man, and some people have that aggressive man and they have an ego.
Okay.
And you see a difference.
Maybe okay. I always thought you were cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, I mean,
be honest with you, like Adam's a cool guy.
Yeah.
I don't even think I ever saw you angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because I don't really get mad.
Maybe that's also
I'll get
like,
frustrated, but I don't get mad.
I fully acknowledge that that's also maybe a skewed. I'm realizing this now more than ever because like now I coach high school wrestling and I'm around like normal people, like parents and stuff like that. And I'm realizing that like they're watching me like I'm a crazy guy. I'm like, this is another day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're like, I'm realizing that like what's not, like I don't consider it toxic masculinity or anything like that. I think there's like a different layer for that, right?
Yeah.
I just, it's a tough world out there.
Yeah.
You gotta be tough.
It's a real world.
Well, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it is what it is.
And that's the thing is, as of being around people that are just like you, I'm not gonna say, oh, I like getting punched in the face, but I like saying, oh, I can take a punch. I like saying that I can, that I train for technique. I like saying I'm in shape to, like, it's like with Vaughn. I make sure that I'm in top shape just to make sure that I can get in there and move around with them, or or just go spar. Just go get spar with some high level guys and still make sure that I'm on top of my A game, because at the end of the day, when I go back to the real world, people that don't know how to fight, we get into you never know what's gonna happen. So to me, fighting was life, and then it just. That was like the best. I think that was probably the best time of my life, fighting.
Really?
Yeah, that was the best times I probably ever had. But acting wise, I look at it like this: on set, I love it. I cannot complain. It's the same. I probably look at it the same. But when I get done acting, I go back to regular life. With fighting, you go back to the gym.
Yeah.
You go.
You get to carry that.
Yeah, you get to carry that.
I won that fight, or
or
I lost that fight. Now I got to fucking train harder. Like
now
I can't let that happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It carries with you.
Yeah. So that's the main thing about fighting to acting to me. It's like I look at it as it's a shut off with acting, but then at the same time you go back and you're by yourself and you go back and do your studying. I do a lot of movie watching, study now that I'm in front of the camera, but it's like now that I'm behind the camera, I'm looking at different things, just trying to learn and get better now. But with fighting, it's the same. It's like you got a coach. It's just.
Well, there's a lot of guys that will, they're still training to be fighters, but then they're coaches. Like jiu-jitsu instructors that might be black belts are still doing their MMA, like their own MMA career. You know what I mean? Or how many times have you gone to a gym where like someone, fighters are cornering other fighters.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to wear many hats. And I'm sure that's the same way in acting. Like sometimes you're going to be in front of the camera. Sometimes you're going to be behind the camera. Sometimes you're not even on the set, but like maybe you helped 2 or 3 people to get onto a set. And because of your network, or maybe a person helped you get on that set. So like sometimes you could just be the person who knows a phone number and made a call. Sometimes you could be the person who's like all hands on deck. Sometimes you just know who to put in certain positions, and then you take a step back. And sometimes you have to take the reins yourself and be on camera.
And sometimes when it's said and done, you just got to shut up and let that person it's like with if you have when you're going to school for acting. I mean, when you're going to school for film, you have the college films. In this case, student films, and you might have 24, 30 people on set. Everybody has a job. They're all ants. Certain times you just got to shut up and just, let that person do his part.
Yeah.
With fighting, it's like, that was the main thing. That's one thing I do like about acting, because I am just me. I can play this character. If Adam's playing Sam in the fight world, Adam's playing Adam. But in this case, that's one player. I'm that one player. I'm that, so it's like, that's what I like about it.
You're a part of the whole. Yeah. And you're not responsible for the whole. Yeah. You're responsible for your part.
Yeah. For that, we'll say. But then when it gets behind the camera, it's like, okay, you might, let's say you're producing it. You got to make sure this gets done, this gets done. But the best thing about it is when you see that finishing picture. When we, Jim Jenkins and I did Safe Ride. I won a good amount of awards with Safe Ride, and I played 3 different characters in that. I played a flamboyant gay dude that was the opposite of me. You don't see me doing, hey, you don't see my wrist broken here, right? So
it was a whole off the record conversation.
He's looking dead in my eyes.
Yet.
And I played a
Jamaican.
Scene. And I played a Jamaican, and I played a sex trafficker.
Okay.
So Jim and I made that come together. We produced it. We had a director. Same person that was the director was the DP, the director of photography that shot it. So once we got done with that, it was just, and Jim wrote it. The beautiful thing was being able to see that come together, and then I win awards, and people, I guess cheered you on, and then okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Those are the blessings of it, of being on set with with all different type of walks of life. Like, don't matter, woman, man, gay, whatever, whoever you are fantastic, and you are phenomenal when it comes down to your part or whatever. It's just a beautiful blessing when it comes down to being, when it comes down to the acting world and being behind the camera or in front of the camera, but the crew, cast, and everything come together. It's a whole family just for that one project, and then you go on to the next project, and you might see other people working on that project. That networking phase, just like the fight world. You might see somebody else, or 2 or 3 people, 4 or 5 people working on the same project with you. I might work with Bruce on this project, and then I went and worked with him on a different project, and we're still leads or whatever. It is a blessing. I can't complain.
Before we move off this topic, I do have one more question with regards to like the world of film. So AI obviously is a technology that's going to disrupt and change a lot of industries. One of them that's happening in real time is both music and film.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if you've ever paid attention to any of these like AI music now, but like there's literally a subgenre of songs, like, rap songs that are being like spliced into like old country songs.
Yeah,
or
you
like,
see that.
Yeah, with like 50 Cent and stuff like that. So like there's a whole new genre of music now that's being created, and nobody is real. Nothing, it's all digital, right? Like there's no instruments. It's just ones and zeros, if you will. you're starting to see this kind of creep into the world of film as well for like people's rights as like extras. Like they'll film you once or twice, and they'll be like, "All right, well, we have enough now to like basically put you in any film we ever want." You know,
Yeah, it's scary.
so now they're licensing your name and likeness for perpetuity. And there used to be different economics in the world of film, like when you had like DVDs and VHS and stuff like that, there were like residuals that you could get from, you know, obviously the film went to theaters, and then afterwards they would go to the second tertiary theaters, and then they would go to the VHS, and then when DVDs came out, you could buy the DVD or you can rent it, and there was always kind of like this trickling of money that was coming in. Well, now because of streaming and everything, it's just not necessarily the case. So you're seeing that, you know, the cost of movies has never been higher. Then you're introducing this new technology that could possibly reduce that cost and make it easier. I mean, the flip side to this is, and this is why I wanted to ask you this question, is like, you know, it might make independent film creators, it might make it easier for them to make even grander tales or, you know, make even bigger projects. But it also starts to ostracize a large part of the community. I mean, now you can have entire scripts being written by LLM models. Like, hey, I want a script that's like The Boys, like Den of Thieves, spit out 10 of them and then tell me which one's the best. You can have that, and then you can go get a coffee and then come back and it's done. You know what I mean? So it's kind of scary. So what do you think about AI in this world? What do you think about AI in the world of film? Like, do you think it'll be a net positive, a net negative? Has it even like been on your radar yet?
It has. To me, I look at it as script writers, they're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Script writers, the writers are in trouble. I know they said something about, I think they were trying to stop that. I don't know if that was in California, where they were trying to stop them taking the voice. I mean, taking their actual picture, whatever it is.
The likeness for in perpetuity. Yeah.
You never know, but it's like, man, I mean, to me, I look at the independent filmmakers. I don't think they're gonna have an issue.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, if you're small, then new technologies allow you to be a disruptor.
Right.
But if you're large, new technologies allow you to be disrupted. It's just like there's two sides to every story, right? Actually, three.
Unless you do a contract on something that's not the case. I know they are doing some where they have fake actors that are AI, and they're trying to put that in stuff, and it's like, wow, this person looks just like, but then they were saying, oh, the eyes are off a little bit, so
for now,
you know. But yeah, it's like you never know. Everything changes in 3 years. It used to be 5 years. Now hopefully it's still 3 years.
Well, I always say like the problem with this technology is we as humans are like, well, where is it at today?
Yeah.
Because the concept of like exponential growth is foreign to us. Like we're linear. We go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. That's how we are as creatures. We can't conceptualize something that's like logarithmic or exponential. You go from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. We don't function like this. So like when people say like, oh, well, you know, today AI can't really produce like, you know, what we can produce. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. But 2 years ago, I watched a video of like Will Smith eating spaghetti, and it was like this little morph claymation thing. Now they have it in 2 years, a video that's difficult for me to say whether or not is Will Smith or not. Photos are done. They have, I think, like the new Sora's video, but there was a new like version 4 of like whatever photo generator, and it's so fucking good, Adam. It's so good. I cannot tell the difference between a real photo and a fake photo. And when I say fake photo, I mean everything about this photo is fake. The people don't exist. The lighting is artificial. Everything is fake. And it looks real. It's wild. It's wild. And it scares me, not to go down too much of the rabbit hole for AI, but it scares me with like, you know, like how the older generation is really susceptible to like fraud. Like they'll get a phone call like, this is the CIA. We need your social security number. We're going to come get you. Bro, just fucking wait. Just wait till you get a phone call, like a FaceTime.
Oh, they have that.
And you think you're talking to a real person. Like, hey, I'm with Charter and we need your address. And by the way, what's your social security number? It's on our security. How many people are going to get fucked, like fraudulent attacks on them? And they're not even going to know because the technology is getting so good to do this.
They had that. They said something, I think it was something on the news where they were kidnapped. Oh, the girl was like, oh, I'm going to get kidnapped, this and this. And it's like the...
for parents. The people were getting the information. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The story was there was a group that was essentially like finding kids' photos on Instagram, and then they were using that to create video messages of them.
That's scary.
And then they would send it to their parents, like over like Instagram, and they'd be like, I'm trapped, like they're ransoming me.
You could hear how she's heard
And
the
you
person's
think it's a
sounds.
real video. So the parents are like, I'll send the money right now. Like, where, you know what I mean? And like, here's the thing. Some of you go ahead and be like, wow, I would never fall for that. Okay, let's say you did that to 100 parents.
Right.
Because that's the other thing with this technology is it's easy in mass. You send it out to 100 parents, and let's say 5 of them bite. That's all you need. That's all you need for this to be like lucrative.
And then the main thing about it is you got the elderly. They're going against the elderly.
Oh,
So
dude,
at the end of the
they're
day, it's
fucked.
like
my dad, I told my dad, I've eliminated his ability to be like a scapegoat for anybody. Like my dad doesn't have anything. Like all of my dad's stuff now flows through me and my brother. And that's because like I cannot trust him. No offense to my dad. Like I love him, but like
it's real.
He'll be like, Donald Trump called me last night. He was on the phone. It sounded just like him. I'm like, Dad, I don't know if you know this, but I don't think that was him.
Yeah. I can tell you the same. It's like my mother's stuff is on auto pay. Forget that. Like, it's like on everything. It's like, no, we're not gonna play this game.
No one's gonna call you. No one. Don't give your number to anybody. Don't. We're also gonna get into this world now where like I was having this conversation at dinner last night. We're going to slowly get to like a completely anecdotal society where like if I'm not physically there, if I don't physically see it happen, I'm going to doubt that it actually did. Because this shit's going to get so good that you're going to not be able to believe your eyes if it's digital.
Even with the animals. Oh, you got this animal playing with
this.
It's like
the whole monkey thing. Did you hear about that story in St. Louis? So like some guy.
That was fake?
All of it was fake. All of it was fake. None of the monkeys got out of the St. Louis Zoo. It was all fake. And people are like, oh, the monkeys broke out of the zoo. Meanwhile, St. Louis Zoo is like, what?
The monkeys on natural.
But they have like videos of like monkeys running through the roads. And like you could take a video of Kings Highway and then you can add the monkeys and you're like, okay, guess, like, dude.
Everybody believes it.
The problem is all you need is a certain number of people to believe it. That's the problem. And then the herd mentality comes in. So,
that's scary.
Yeah, scary. I don't know, future.
I mean, we never know. I mean, look.
I thought we were gonna have flying cars. Instead, I got to worry that my dad's social security number is gonna get stolen.
We never know a year from now because we don't even know what's gonna happen in 2026.
Yeah,
end of the year. You never
when
know.
you say that, like, what do you mean? Like in terms of like technology?
Technology wise.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the way the world is now with I mean, we don't want to get in politics and all that, but the way the world is now is just crazy. So you never know. You never know what you're going to see.
I make the argument when it comes to the political conversation that it's always been crazy. Like it's been crazy since 100 years ago. Since before World War I, it was always crazy. Like even if you look back at the founding of the country, I mean, even the founding of this country was crazy.
Yeah.
You took a small colony that revolted against the leading superpower of the world at the time and won. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like all of U.S. history, all of political history is crazy. The only thing I think is different now over like any other time is because of the internet, because of the technology that we have at our fingertips, it's never been so transparent.
Right.
That's the real thing. I think that this has always been this way. Like Clinton, Obama, Bush, Trump won. I think it's always functioned similarly, right? I think the only difference now is we get like it feels like every year, every 2 years, we get a little bit more peek behind the curtain, a little bit more peek. Does that mean that this president did it different than the other presidents, or like this representative did it different from this representative? I just don't think so.
No,
I really don't think anybody comes into that world and is like a true game changer. If anything, Trump has kind of like solidified that. Like, you and kind of Obama too. Like, I remember when I voted for Obama, I was like, oh my God, there's going to be like sweeping change and all this other stuff. And then like, don't get me wrong, there was like some things that happened, that we got Obamacare from it, right? So like that's a big thing. And we got out of the 2008 recession from it. So that's a big thing. Yeah. But like outside of these two things, like not a whole lot, you know what I mean? And then Trump gets in office and you think there's going to be sweeping changes. And was there really? We cracked down on the border a little bit. But I mean, we were still in Afghanistan. We were still in Iraq. I'm not trying to get political. I guess what I'm just trying to say is when people come to me now and they're like, well, it's so crazy. Like, we don't know where we're going to be next year. I'm like, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
Well, I could say we probably will be fine, but you never know Our main thing is how the war, we don't know what's really going on. World War III, if we're in it, as a us saying it, some of these, some of the military buddies, oh yeah, we're in World War III, but
I would say we're in Cold War too, but yeah.
Get that. I get that.
You know what I mean? I don't think we're in a hot war, but yeah.
Not yet, we'll say, and hopefully not. Hopefully never, we'll say. But it's like we never know.
I don't think there is going to be a World War III. If it's World War III, it's over.
It's going to be that whole
It's
thing.
over. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Thank God it's Cold War II is what I tell people.
It's just like they say, okay, Putin has missiles, North Korea, Iran. It's like it's just so much stuff going on. So it's just so, and then the Epstein files.
That's the one that gets me the most. That's the one that gets me the most.
The distraction that we're going through right now, just to make sure that stuff happens. If some of the stuff has not been scratched.
Well, here's the thing. So, if you would have told me that the Clintons would have just like not shown up to a court-ordered subpoena from Congress, I would have told you no way. They'd at least come in there and plead the fifth on all the questions. Mm-hmm. But for the fact that the Clintons didn't even show up, it's like, I don't know if people know this. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't ask any inner city black guy what happens when you don't show up to court.
You can't. You gotta show up.
Have fun with that one.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that the Clintons don't have to show up to the court, and that court just so happens to be Congress?
Right. Yeah. I think
you have to, dude. If there's anything I've seen, I will say the one thing that does shock me is like the Epstein files is the one thing that I think is different from the previous presidents. By the way, ever since you can make the argument that like ever since Bush 2 on, all the presidents knew about it too, because that's when Epstein started getting on the CIA and the FBI's radar, and they had intelligence on him, and they had intelligence on all the people around them.
Right.
And now there are pictures with him and Trump. There are pictures with him and Clinton.
Yeah.
There are pictures with him and Michael Jackson and all these other people. So you start to go down the rabbit hole of like, where does this go? Where does this lead?
Know.
Well, I mean, I think it's obvious too. I think we all know. And the dirty secret is, I don't think we all, like, we want to think that people were blackmailed. We want to think
they're innocent.
That these people are actually the victims, or some of them are the victims. And there's degrees, right? Like some people are like heinous acts. They're not victims. Some people maybe were hanging around the wrong people and heard a conversation that they weren't supposed to hear, and maybe now they're dragged into this world, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe like-minded people congregate. And maybe it's not what we all think it is. And maybe it is something just like very simple. And that is that there's a cabal of pedophiles and they just happen to also be powerful.
We never know. All those people can be wearing those masks and they all congregate with each other.
Well, I think we will know because the data is there. There are the photos. There are these things. And this is where I was going to get to. Because
is it sweeped either? We don't know. Can you see what's going on?
Well, I'm sure there's a bunch of shit that's been deleted and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. But what I'm trying to say is for the Clintons to not show up to the subpoena and for the Trump administration to actively, they're breaking the law right now. Congress passed I forget what it's called, but the Epstein whatever act by Thomas Massey and Rand Paul. And it deliberately said that from the signing of that legislation, 30 days after, they had to release all the files, and they didn't. The president of the United States and his administration, they're breaking the law. You have to do this. And now we have like this kind of weird thing of like, do you go after the Attorney General Pam Bondi? Like, what are you doing? Like your job, you're the highest prosecutor in the land. Your job is to literally send people to jail. That's your job, to go after people, to convict them. They broke laws, send them to jail. What are you doing?
We never know if he's wrapped up in it.
Well, I'm pretty sure all of them are. Yeah. Goes back to my comment of like the reason things don't really change is because like they all know. They're all. You ever go to a party and back when you were a fighter and you might have some St. Charles and May people there, and you might have some Wolves Den people there, and you might have some MCS people there. They're all fighters, right? Yeah. Like we might not necessarily be like in the same team, but we're in the same umbrella.
Yeah.
That's how I feel politics is. You might have some Republicans there. You might have some lobbyists there. You might have some Democrats there. You might even have a centrist here or there. You might not all be on the same team, but you're under the same umbrella.
Yep.
And we all kind of know what the game is.
And we know to keep quiet. We know this. We know that. We know we might be enemies or we might not, whatever.
We know who's a part of the team and who's not. We know who the quote unquote, who are the real ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I think in a nutshell, I know this is kind of like cryptic and like, but because I don't want to talk about it too much, I want to talk more about Javon and them. But like, to your original point of like, we don't know what the 2026 year holds. I think we're gonna be just fine. I think that honestly, at this point in time, there's only up. Because we're in a position as a society where we're so angry and so fed up that now they have to give us something.
Right.
They have to give us. They have to give us something. Whether it's the Epstein files, whether it's something. You have to now solve healthcare. I mean, you now have to solve the affordability crisis. You now have to give us transparency. You have to give us something because people are losing their minds in real time.
It seems like that's the only thing they're giving us is the Epstein. Well, they said it, but they haven't gave it to us yet. I don't know what else, everybody else wants something, but that's the only thing that they pushed out. Oh, well, the Epstein files. I mean, what else?
Here's the problem.
They want to say, IRS, let's get rid of the IRS and let's do, certain things, but that's, you heard that, right? Trump wants to get rid of the IRS, even though if that makes it, make people like Moose.
Here's what I think. Do I think that the IRS should exist? Yes. The role of government has never been to choose the winner or losers.
Right.
The role of government is to be the referee.
It still splashes right back into the economy where it's supposed to. Well, that's what we want it to.
Well, I mean, it is taxation. Okay, let's take a step back. Like when someone says like IRS, the Internal Revenue Services, right? Like taxes, if they are allocated appropriately and spent honorably,
right,
can benefit everybody.
Right.
But what we're seeing in real time with fraud, with a lot of these back channels, with a lot of these NGOs, is that's just not the case. So like the problem is not that we're being taxed. Listen, dude, if you paid, I say this all the time, I pay roughly a third of my income goes to the government, right? And if the roads were pristine and the education and school, public education was amazing and people had reliable health care and all these other things, do you think we would be complaining about being taxed 33%?
Nope.
We're not complaining about this because we're being taxed. We're complaining about this because we're being taxed and we're getting none of these things. I dodged 18 potholes to get here. And if I go downtown and I don't have my gun, I might get mugged. Right. And the cops aren't going to do anything about it. And then the St. Louis Public Schools just got their accreditation lowered by a level. So it's like, what are we paying all these taxes for? I live in the city, so I pay a 1% city tax. Where does that money go? I give you the money, and by the way, there's a lot of transparency in how I have to do that. Like, this is what you owe us, pay us, or we're going to put you in a box.
Right.
So I give you the money, but after that, it's like, when you have states, when you have cities that can't pass audits, when you have entire government agencies, Pentagon, that can't pass an audit, what are we talking about? And the rules for thee, not for me mentality will lead to revolution, because you can't tell me you have to do all these things. You have to follow all these rules. You have to do all these. And if you don't, Adam, I'll put you in a box for the rest of your life, or I'll take your life. And then when I have to do these things, I say, we haven't passed an audit in 8 years, but don't look at that. Or, there's a cabal of pedophiles, but we're not going to give you all the information because it could result in a deep distrust of the government.
For a reason, yeah.
Excuse me? No, fuck you. No, fuck you. If I have to do it, I'm not being a hypocrite when I say this, because I have to do it. I have to follow these laws. I have to do all these rules. And we've all agreed upon this as a society. So fuck you. Right. You have to do it too.
That's real. That's real. That's real. That's
Blue,
real.
red, white, black, old, young, I don't care. Fat, skinny, tall, short. Fuck you, do it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's all, to me, it's a cover up somewhere. Well, you could see the cover up, but I think, back in the day, it's like, I guess, innocent wise, everybody was lied to and they just thought, he's a good person, or that's good. But now we're seeing everything coming out where it's like, maybe I was wrong, or maybe I didn't, maybe I was thinking this person was, or the government, when they said don't never trust the government.
I'll tell you what
a lot of people did back in the day.
I'll tell you the one variable of why this is all happening. It has nothing to do with any of that. Truth of the matter is, if you ask most people, they don't care about any of these things. Truly. You want to know why we care about all these things? Because for the last 30 years, all of our lives collectively have been getting harder.
Yep.
Everybody.
That's true.
If you make $100,000 a year today, in 2026, it's equivalent to making $48,000 a year back in 2000.
Yeah.
So even being a six-figure earner now, I'm telling you right now, I have a lot of six-figure earner friends. They still can't afford a house and all these things. The reason they care about their politics now is because their policies are making their lives harder.
Right.
So it's like if our lives were getting better,
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it this way, but like if you had 2 houses
Mm-hmm.
and 6 kids and a wife, you don't have the fucking time to worry about what the
Man.
government's doing. But the
Yeah.
problem is none of us do.
Mm-hmm.
None of the people our age do. Everybody's scrambling. Everybody's trying to survive. So then what do? You start getting angry.
Yep.
Why the fuck is my life so hard? Why is it so hard to not even get ahead, but to have the same life as my parents? Well, then you start looking up. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Now, that's why I said earlier, they're going to have to start fixing things. They're going to have to start throwing bones. They're going to have to actually start giving people like, why don't we have healthcare? Why don't we have better schools? Why do we have such a shitty education system? Why is crime so bad? Why is this? Why is that? Start fixing shit, or else people are going to start asking. Like when the government was shut down for a month and a half,
That was
you
crazy.
want to know how much my life changed?
0. That was crazy.
I felt no difference.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone on the news was like, well, pretty soon, like these government agencies won't get their funding and it's right before the holidays. And all I could think to myself is like, if these people aren't working and they're not getting paid and I don't feel anything, why do these people have jobs?
Yeah.
Why are these people getting paid? What is it that they're doing? It's a very simple question. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, he cut 70% of the workforce. The app's never been better.
Right.
I'm not saying don't tax me. I'm not saying that it's not like a patriotic duty to like give back. This country gave me everything I have.
Right.
All the
That's
wealth,
right.
all the abundance that I have. Thank God for America, literally. So like it's not that I don't want to give back. But one side tells me that we need to lower the amount we pay no matter what. One side tells me that we need to increase the amount of money we pay no matter what. And all I'm saying is, how about where's the money that we're already paying going?
Somebody's body.
$4.8 trillion in taxable revenue. $4.8 trillion a year. A year this country takes in. We spend closer to $6 trillion. That's the deficit, that 1.1, right?
Yep.
How? And
It's going to somebody's pocket.
and that's what we're realizing now. And that's what we're realizing
And
in real
fraud.
time. Fraud, malicious activity, all these other things. And by the way, if you went to a bank and stole anything above $600, you go to a box.
Yep.
But they can do it with millions, if not billions. And who's accountable? Who's held accountable?
I'm anxious to see what happens.
There needs to be accountability. There has to be. For all forms of government, for all people on this planet, or not planet, sorry, in this country. Because we're a society of norms and values that we've all agreed upon. And if one person can do with impunity whatever they want, it starts to erode the fabric of the whole society. Well, how come Adam doesn't have to follow the rules? Well, I don't want to follow the rules. Or
Right.
if Adam's not, I'm not going to follow the rules either. And then she's like, well, those guys aren't following the fucking rules. Why am I
I'm not
following the
gonna-
rules?
yeah.
You start to become the idiot for doing the right thing.
Yeah,
And when you
yeah.
start getting society that says like, well, doing the right thing is the dumb thing to do, don't be surprised when your society collapses.
Right. And that's the thing that we never know what's going to happen. Because, I mean, the main thing about it is the government can't trust them. You know it's fraud. At the same time, they're pointing the fingers. So it's like, where do we win? And when is it going to come to something where somebody comes up and says, okay, we're going to change this. We're going to switch this around. And I doubt that even happens.
I think the 2028 election will be very interesting. That's what I think. Because it'll be the first time in the last 12 years that DJT is out of there. And I'm curious to see what politics goes back to. Do we go back to like 2000s politics? Or is this the new norm now?
I don't think we're ever going to go back there.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But I don't think 2020 and 2024 will be 2028. Does that make sense? I don't think we're going back to 2000, but I don't think we're going to be going back to 2024 or 2020 or 2016. I think
Unless something happens.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm curious. I'll tell you what I'm doing right now, man. I'm just watching. I'm just watching. I'm just listening. I don't know if you notice. I don't post shit on Facebook.
Yeah, I
I don't
remember
post
you
shit on
said-
Instagram
yeah.
now. I'm just watching. And then I'll have an opinion when it's time. But right now, I'm just taking it all in. Let's see what they do.
Because you can tell with the politics that's going on now, it's like, jeez.
There's a lot of
fumes.
there's a lot of
people.
energy.
Yeah.
On both sides
Yeah.
for different
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I do think that this has been a universal trait. I do think that we have more in common than we have separates us. And in The Art of War by Sun Tzu, what's the first chapter? Divide and conquer. So I think a divided America is only better for all these entities that we're talking about right now.
That's and you already know that's.
And it's a lot easier for me to say, I don't like Adam because he doesn't think like me, than it is for me to say, why is my government spending my money fraudulently?
Right.
Because that's hard. It's a lot easier for me to like, Adam didn't vote for my guy and Adam bad.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, well, why would either person that we elected send money fraudulently to these entities? And like, why is that even a thing?
Some people are waking up and seeing that, and that's where they're going. It's
Technology makes it transparent.
But
I think that's always been the case.
Yeah.
I think if you go back 60 years from now, I'm sure you had fraud. I'm sure you had these go between. That's when I was saying earlier about like, I don't think this is any different.
Yeah.
The only difference is I think this shit has been going on the entirety of our lives.
Misleading for sure.
The only difference is how transparent it is now because of technology. Or not even transparent, because transparency by definition is like you're willingly giving up information. This is like more like, it's harder for them to hide it. It's just harder for them to hide. It's unwanted transparency. Oh man.
Hey, that's the best thing about, I guess we can say, now the present. We have so much technology, we have so much stuff that's out there that can't get, so many people that are, so many whistleblowers, so many, it's just where it makes sense. But at the same time, is that just a pond? Is that just an act?
I don't know. I don't know.
And
that's the problem. It's going to be very difficult to deduce like what's real, what's not real. And then I do think that we're gonna, because of AI, there's two paths. There's two paths we can take. I think with a much more probable path is that we will start to live in different realities based on the media that we consume.
Yep.
Because technology will be so good at like constructing the narratives we like that we will live in that reality. And that will silo people more and more. And what I was saying earlier about like connecting with individuals, that's gonna be more and more difficult.
Yeah.
It's hard to critically think. And it's also hard to go against like the preconceived notions that you have. Like maybe you're wrong about some of the things that you think about, whatever they are. It doesn't have to be about politics. It could be about fighting, it could be about sports. Like, maybe Tom Brady's not the GOAT. Who knows? You know what I mean? But you would have to have the capacity to take in criticism or a differing opinion in order to even get to step two of being like, well, maybe I am wrong. The problem is people aren't even doing that. So when you spend all your time around people that think like you and say the same things that you do, and you're getting that feedback loop, and then you step out of there, and then someone tells you like, well, no, that's not how that is. You're gonna be like, what are you talking? You're an idiot. You're this. You fake news. You know what I mean? It's just,
that's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's the majority. That's the majority.
Yes.
And it's only going to get worse because technology for doing that will only get better, unless people start having a healthy amount of criticism, that everything they see, they need to start critically thinking about, like, does this seem real? Does this seem plausible? Does this seem logical?
We'll never get that. It's just like
I don't know though. I don't know.
But you gotta look at this.
I don't know though.
You got NBC. You got CNN. So you got two different. Is it CNN or
MSNBC,
Fox?
NBC, Fox, CNN?
Yeah.
I would say that Fox is the only conservative outlet, but you have a slew of liberal outlets.
Yeah.
So like CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, like they're all liberal. Fox kind of stands alone as like a conservative. When people say like Fox News is the most popular news source, the only reason is because there's only one conservative news source.
Yeah.
Let's say they had Fox and then The Hen, and The Hen was also conservative, and they cut Fox's viewership by half. Well, then, you know what I mean? Like that's what's happening with the liberals.
And that's the main thing, because you got so many. What a crazy that hit something right there. It's like it's so many different news stations that are on one side, and then you have another news station that's on the right, and it's like you know who to listen to, but where's the middle at? And we can get
the internet. No one watches news. When's the last time you sat down and watched CNN or Fox?
Man, I'm
Bro, I don't even have cable.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, Elon Musk said this, and I believe it. X is the number one news source now. The majority of the people get their news from like social media, specifically Twitter or X. Now, is that good or bad? You know what I mean? Because like anybody can post anything. You're getting
some real stuff. Yeah. Hopefully,
that's the problem. Hopefully,
I mean, they're going. I mean, the best thing about it is you have TikTok, and that's all across the world where you're able to see what's actually going on.
No, I would make the exact opposite.
Do you know?
Ever since the U.S. and Larry Ellison took over TikTok, I would say that is the most propagated social media. TikTok is the worst now. It used to be the worst because China held it. Now it's the worst because a different demographic owns it. I cannot say the demographic out loud. We will get. I'll get shot.
Yeah, but you got to go off of. You still got people that individuals that can speak the truth. Okay, Venezuela.
Okay.
You got people that can speak the truth. You got other people. Oh, he did this, but you got people in Venezuela cheering on, knowing what's going on.
Maybe.
I went there.
Did you though?
I was like, let me.
You were there in the last 3 months?
I had, yeah.
Okay.
It's like I'll check just to say, and I got a TikTok account, but I'm not really on it.
No, that's not what I asked. You went to Venezuela in the last 3 months?
No. No. That's a good one.
Sorry. Well then you know about as much as I do.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I hate. Why do you think I didn't make a comment about Venezuela or Maduro or anything?
That's
real.
real.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I do know one thing for certain. The United States military was able to go into a foreign nation and took their president in sub 1 hour, killed 90 combatives, and didn't even get one injured military personnel.
Supposedly they had something new too.
When
new technology.
I'm telling you this right now, when we remember what I said about our taxes, how the number one line item outside of our interest is military defense. If I'm going to spend $1 trillion a year on military, good.
Yeah.
These are the outcomes I do want.
Yeah.
That is what I want. I want the world to know that, like, hey, we spent a lot of fucking money on this shit, and we can at least do that right.
Yeah.
We can at least do that right. Now, maybe start working on education and healthcare. Get that to the same level our military is. But what I'm trying to say, though, is about, like, Venezuela, to that topic of what you were saying about the truth and all that stuff. You don't know.
You never know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There are very few people that truly know. And the thing is, people are so quick to, like, spout out. I told Dan O'Connor this because, like, Dan is like, I go, wait 72 hours. My status quo on everything is I shut the fuck up for 72 hours. Even when the Charlie Kirk assassination came out and I did my monologue on it, if you noticed, I didn't say who the shooter was. I didn't say any of these things. All I said was the reason I made that video was because I was appalled at people's reactions to a man getting shot live on television. Or like people were cheering it. And I'm just like, that's dark. Like no matter where we are, if MLK was alive in today's day and his assassination was recorded, there'd be a slew of white people that were racist at the time that'd be on TikTok and Instagrams talking about like, yeah, they got that guy, right? And that would be wrong. It was wrong then. It was wrong now. But I didn't say who did it, how they did it, because I didn't fucking know.
Right.
All I said was the reaction that people have to this is appalling.
Yeah.
That's where I was focused on. Yeah. And by the way, we are now 4 months removed and we still don't know anything about the Charlie Kirk assassination. So do you think we're going to have all the details on the Venezuela stuff? Or do you think that we're going to get all the details on the Epstein? Or do you think that we know everything that's going on in Iran right now? Or do we know everything about the Chinese Navy off the coast of Taiwan? Or do we know what's really going on with Ukraine and Russia? The truth of the matter is, I hate to say it this way, there's a slew of people that get paid egregious amounts of money to handle all of these issues.
Right.
And they can't even pass an audit.
That's real. No, you're real.
And we're trying to argue about what it is that we know.
You're real.
Here's what I do know. I know how to run my businesses. I know how to make my money. I know how to control my small world. And that's it helps me sleep at night, not worrying about the world's issues and just worrying about my issues.
Right, and family.
And I want to be careful how I say this because I'm not trying to tell people like, you know, there's issues above you, stop worrying about that. But like when you have all of your bases covered, when your bed is made and your bills are up to date and you're in a healthy relationship and you have a family of your own, then you can start maybe like looking across the street and saying like, oh, Jenkins' house ain't as clean as mine. I mean, maybe I'll help Jenkins. Like handle yourself first.
Right.
However, in that same breath, it is also fair to, you know, over the course of your life, understand where like these policies have led. Yeah. So like 2 things. 1, focus on yourself. Focus on what you can actually change and achieve. But also, yes, be aware of the landscape because there are decisions being made above you that will affect you. Right. And you don't want to be surprised.
That's real.
So I'm not telling people to like, oh, don't watch the news. Don't be informed. But don't dwell on it.
Right.
Understand it, conceptualize it, take it in, navigate.
Because it can get
You're
depressing.
not going to be the one that solves Iran. Your 144 character tweet on Twitter, oh my God, you're a savant. You just solved it. You're not that guy, bud. You're not that guy.
It's a lot of people out there that's like,
Everyone's
like,
a fucking
you
pocket.
Gotta,
Dude,
you got a lot of time on your hands just to do that over and over.
Can I say this? Politics is a new sport. I hear people talking about politics now the way I used to hear Stephen A. Smith talk about basketball. Oh, Marco Rubio, his numbers are down. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, man.
This is not a quarterback. This is the Secretary of State. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, then they go into war with it. It's like, geez.
This is real, guys. This is people with guns or people with more weapons than guns. What are we talking? This is not a sport. This should be. We need to bring reverence back to these positions. We need to bring like civility and respect back to the office. And like, it's not about who's in president. It's not about the cabinet. It's not about the administration. It's about reverence for the position. Reverence for it's the leader of the free world. Whether it was Obama, whether it was Biden, whether it was Trump, you have to have respect for it. Pete break, off the politics. You wanted to ask me something. Sorry.
I did want to ask you, since we were on the subject, and we, what do you think about the information that Candace Owens is, coming out with?
That's an right there. That's an onion. That's an onion. Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
I don't know what to think. Like truthfully, do I want to believe some of the things, and is it spicy information? And I know one thing. The one thing that I know is the narrative being presented is difficult to conceive, and it's difficult for me to believe the official like FBI narrative. Okay.
Right.
So if the official FBI narrative was a little bit more concrete or a little bit more, consistent, then the information presented by Candace would hit less.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's not a question of, it's kind of like when a fighter's coming up and their record's like 4-0, but then you look at the records of all the fighters they fought, and it's like, okay, like no one you fought has a winning record. So like, yeah, you're 4-0, but like, are you any good? We don't know. That's how I feel about Candace. Is like, is your information correct? I don't know. But because the alternative narrative is so inconsistent, it makes me believe it's more correct than maybe it should be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that Candace is 100% correct. And I don't think that the official narrative is correct.
Right.
So the problem is now we're kind of like picking and choosing what we believe, and that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be a shill for the government. I also don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. Does that make sense?
Right.
So when you ask me like, what do I think? I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think.
A soap opera in its own.
Yeah. Now, do I think everything she says is correct? Absolutely not. Do I think that everything that Kash Patel and the FBI has said is correct? Absolutely not. My one thing though is the question that I keep bringing to myself is like, how is it that the official narrative, like, why does it have so many holes?
That's the thing.
Why does it have so many holes?
It's not like it's not. You can see them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and I hate to be that guy. I am a student of history. And if this was a lie, it would not have been America's first.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Correct.
So,
right.
do I think Candace has the answers? No. But do I think that our government did a thorough investigation? Also, no. But only time will tell, right? So, like, that's why I said earlier, I don't know.
They'll probably bring it up.
I do know one thing, though, completely off topic. I think Candace Owens might be the most beautiful black woman I've ever seen in my life.
She does look good.
She is so gorgeous.
She looks fantastic.
She is so gorgeous.
She has a fantastic brain, I can tell you that.
I just think she's like I don't know if it's because like she's just, sorry, wife. Yes, Candace Owens, dude, it does something for me. Anyway, what were we talking about? Fighting.
Yeah.
You got I see a lot with you and Wolfman. So for those that don't know, Javon Wright is his like legal name, but we call him the Wolfman. That's his nickname. He fights for bare knuckle boxing, and he was the world champion.
He is.
His last fight, did he bump up
That
weight
was
class?
yeah. He went to 155.
Got you.
Jeez,
Got you. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Forgive me. I want to make sure so he still is the world champion
he's-
at bare knuckle boxing, and he did bump up a weight class. That's the fight that he lost the decision, right?
No, he got.
Oh
he
my
got
gosh,
KO
I'm
on
so
that.
bad at this.
Yeah,
man.
no, he got KO. He got KO. Dropped his hand just a little bit and just a little bit. Beat the dude the whole fight.
He
dropped his
won
hand just
by
a little
decision in his fight prior to that. He won by decision in that one against the Mexican guy.
Bit. No, that's where he took the belt.
That's what I'm saying. He won that fight.
Yeah,
Okay, but then he bumped up a weight class and then lost that one.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
he.
Sorry, guys. We're an hour and
you're
40
fine.
into the
You're fine.
podcast.
Yeah, and then actually, so this is his third title fight, second title defense. But he actually dropped his hand just a little bit, and it was just like, switched up a little bit, and it was just like all slow motion. It was like I couldn't believe it. To me, he could have still got up and beat him, but I'm not gonna get into anything. It's we'll just leave it alone.
It is what it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we'll leave it
It
alone.
happened. It's in the past. But he's got
Yeah,
another
it's-
fight coming
it's-
up, and that's what you guys are training for now, right?
Yeah. So he's fighting UK champion. We fight at the end of the month in Miami. So as of right now, yeah, he's a couple of days ago he's 154. We fight at 147. And right now I'm just still working on, we're still doing strength, still doing technique. Everything, cardio is just looking great. Everything looks fantastic.
I said that you were at the den today, or he was at the den today?
Yeah, he was
training.
there. I was there too, filming.
Gotcha.
But yeah, last week, this week, he'll be there probably Friday.
Was he getting rounds on with Sean? Who was he getting rounds
No, he'll
with?
get rounds with Sean probably Friday.
Gotcha. What is that like in terms of like his training regimen? Because I mean, you're going to these like bare knuckle boxing is still in my opinion, and it's in infancy, and it's weird to say that because it's technically boxing, right? Which is it's a sport older than MMA. But bare knuckle boxing, I don't even understand like how you guys begin to start training for that. And these might be questions to have for Javon when he's on, but like, when he hits mitts, is he doing a bare knuckle? I would feel like that's a grievous misuse, right? Because like you're gonna hurt your hands. But then it's like then you're fighting bare knuckle, so like you're not using boxing gloves, are you?
Well,
are you using MMA gloves, those 7-ounce gloves?
When he's fighting, he's using wraps.
Just wraps?
It's just wraps.
Well, I know when he's fighting, yeah, it's just up to the wrist and even sometimes not even just the thumb.
Start off with gloves, and then we just break it down and get less.
Smaller and smaller and
just
smaller.
smaller and smaller. So we'll go to what is it, 8 ounce? What is it, 8 ounce?
7-ounce.
7
MMA
ounce,
gloves.
yeah,
the
mitts.
MMA gloves, but with the puffs on
Yep,
top.
little mitts. So we'll go to those. He did those today, and got some rounds. And now we're breaking into these next 2 weeks, still with gloves, still with technique, and then he'll jump into more of the mitts. The 7 ounces.
It was interesting to watch him reinvent himself, dude. Because he was like an MMA guy, and then he was a boxer. Now he's a bare knuckle boxer. What was that conversation like? Did he talk to you before getting into that? And like, what was that conversation like?
The talk was, you're gonna jump into I think Jared brought it to him, and he
Jared
was like,
Daniels block.
yeah, he was like, nah, I ain't trying to get my face messed up. But then like we talked about today, and but when he seen the money in it, he's like, oh, okay, and he's getting
for
paid
that.
way more than he got paid in his MMA career.
It doesn't shock me.
So his first fight, he took 30% of the purse of the opponent's purse. And the first fight he fought Roberto Duran's son. So it's like, okay, wow, knocked out 2 of his teeth, bottom. So
Do you think Javon at this point and your relationship with him, do you think this is the last ride, meaning he will end his career doing bare knuckle boxing and his competitive career doing bare knuckle boxing? Do you think there's any shot he goes back to MMA or goes back to boxing?
he's not going to MMA.
Yeah.
Knee wise,
It's not there.
it's not worth it. To me, yeah. I don't really think. I mean, he can do. I think this will be it. I think
This will be
where
it.
sticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's money in it. Depends
Does he?
on.
When you guys talk about it though, like, does he enjoy it?
Oh, he loves it.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah.
So original skepticism, a little hesitancy, but now it seems like this is his home.
First fight, he loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Javon seems like Javon is just like how he was when he first started, when he was 17. You know, cause I met him when he was 17, taught him how to kick. You know, he was able to do kickboxing, able to do all that stuff, but he still has that same spunk. He still gets up and he's still shadow boxing. He still say, he's still, I want to punch people in the face. He's still the same, even though he's way wiser, fantastic father, got 2 girls, but he still has that energy. He still has that love for the game. He has that love for the game, the fight. That's what sparks me. But it's like, man, dude, like he has the love for the game, and I think that I don't know when that light will go out, because the only thing he's doing is getting better and better and better, and he's knowing who he is, and he has good coaches, around him. Even, as one of the guys, I forgot his last name, AJ. He's in Vegas, and it's so funny because he to me it's more of hand fighting, but he's a J.
Oh, he's like Jay Diamato.
He's like
he's got a mind for combat.
Yeah, yes, and he teaches boxers and all that, and has other pros, other champions. But it's just it's where we have got in the sport now, and where we came up from. This has been 15 years, so where we're at now, it's like, and he's only getting better and better. As long as he heals, he's fine. My main thing, only thing I'm worried about right now, I'm not even worried about it. Okay, let's go to Planet Fitness and let's just massage, make sure your back's massaged. Yeah. Like I don't have to worry about he's in his body is in tip top shape, his cardio, his everything. His gas tank is fuel is good. And he'll ask me, just like today, how I'm looking. Man, you looking fine. Do this. This is all I see. Because we studied the tapes, we know who we're fighting, and to us it just comes down to, okay, oh, he moves more. Okay, so let's play this game. Let's counterpunch more. Let's So I never been around a guy like Javon.
Really?
Never. He's most aggressive. Like, we talk a lot of shit to each other. I call him, that's my son. My boy taught me how to use my air fryer. I never used the air fryer. He taught me how to use the air fryer.
That's the oldest man thing you've said today.
That I was gifted
this
to.
Air fryer thing. It's all right. I can fry my shit, but I ain't frying my shit.
Yeah, I used to say I didn't like the air fryer because I thought it was unhealthy, and then
it's a conventional oven.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it. But it's like with Von, I never seen nobody like Von. I never seen. I mean, he hasn't lost anything, and it's like if he did lose it, because I'll say he did. I'll say he did a little bit, but it seems like
Father Time's undefeated. It's not a question of if; it's a question of when.
And
if you can reinvent yourself,
and Bare Knuckle was the one that lit that fire.
Yeah. Because I remember there was a moment before he did Bare Knuckle where he was kind of like he thought he was done.
Yeah. Yes.
And then this opportunity came and reignited that for him.
Yeah. And since he can fight, it's not hard. And you can move, and you got your angles, he had his power. I love to stay on his power. Now that we got him on my plan, and we're doing a little bit of calisthenics. We're still doing weights. We're still doing this. Even Jared was like, man, this body looks. It's like, yeah, this is how he's a grown man. But we want him to have a grown man body, but he can cut down and still keep the frame and still keep the power. It's not hard,
How difficult is it to work with other coaches and kind of coordinate with them? Because it's not like one person is doing all of the logistics for this camp, right? So like there's you, there's Jared, there's this AJ guy in Vegas. So like how difficult is that for all of you guys? Like, do you have a group chat where you're all just like bouncing ideas off of, or you're telling him, hey, this is the portion that I know. This is what the food, the strength and conditioning, watching the spars, and then Jared probably does the mitt work, works on the combinations, stuff like that. I'm sure AJ does something else. Are you guys separated? Do you guys talk about these things? Like, what's the coaching like?
Well, Jared and I, we communicate all the time. and Jared runs him through whatever he wants to run him through. My main thing is to make sure that I'm on his condition, to make sure I'm on his diet. If I see stuff, we'll do a little bit of and it's funny because I bring in Jay, like I bring in that tech. So okay, hand fighting. Let's go off of the counter punching. Let's look at certain things. Yeah, let's make sure we go off the parries. Let's go make sure we go off the jams. You know, that was just the most beautiful. That opened my eyes up when he taught me all that. I was just like, wow.
It was such good for like MMA as well, because when you have those small gloves, the whole shell just evaporates. And if the shell evaporates going from 16-ounce gloves to 12-ounce gloves to 4-ounce gloves, they definitely evaporate when you don't have gloves.
Yes, yeah. And the thing is, with AJ, it's the same. It clicked. I think the last fight, because he's boxing so much. Because when he first started, he moved to Long Beach, and I was like, "Geez, you moved to California when we're finna really do this." But the thing is, he has a coach.
Do it for work or what?
Because he
likes the weather.
I'll let you ask him.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's where he wanted to go. He was tired of St. Louis. But in this case, it still works out because I'm always talking to him, but he's still boxing. It's our main thing is, all right, remember, you're not a boxer. Remember, everything is different. Remember, you can still clinch. You're a bare knuckle fighter now, dog. Yeah, you can still clinch. You still got different ways to jam and counterpunch. You still are orthodox and southpaw. Remember that, so it's just where he knows, okay, he'll say, okay, I'm boxing. Yeah, as long as you know. And then you know how to switch your game plan up right then. It's fine. So we communicate very well. AJ's just like me and with Jared, so it all works out. Like it all works out just right. It's my main thing is just making sure that I'm reminding them, okay, this, and this. Okay, we're looking at the tape. You see this. You see how he might throw to the body. Okay, what are you going to do?
Do you talk at all to Terrell Ursary or Montreal James? Because they also just went into bare knuckle boxing not too long ago. Terrell got a KO, and unfortunately Montreal didn't get the outcome that he wanted. But it was a very good scrap, and he cut that boy up bad, man. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, Wolfman, at least for St. Louis, was kind of like, I don't want to say pioneer, but he was the first one to kind of step into this realm from the area. And now you're starting to see a couple more people from the MMA community, kickboxing community, fighting community, kind of take that leap over there. Mm-hmm. Do you talk to Terrell or Montreal at all?
I talked to Terrell. I'm actually gonna do some video for him.
Nice. I like that guy. He's such a cool guy, man.
Yeah. He's
God bless him and all his success.
Yeah, and to me, I think he can go very far. I do want to see. Hopefully, I can work with him on some strength and conditioning or whatever he needs. I did send him some workouts. Montreal I haven't talked to, but at the end of the day, I wish him best. He knows. He knows what he knows what he's doing, and hopefully that I don't know what that deal was or whatever, but hopefully he has 3 more fights and he's gonna make it make sense.
Yeah, well, I think he took it on short notice, if I'm not mistaken, to save a fight. So
he did his thing.
Yeah, he
did his thing.
Considering he came in on short notice and fucking made it a battle like that.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Cracked him at the end of a round. You thought it was about to be over.
Yeah.
Crazy fight.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's it feels kind of weird having you on here because it has been so long and time has passed, but at the same time, it feels like it hasn't. Does that make sense?
I mean, because we're both from that old world. Nobody's fell out or anything like that. It's like, just like you mentioned, Dan O'Connor. I haven't seen him. O'Connor. I want to say O'Connor. I haven't seen him in years. But it's just like seeing him. It's like we're all jumping up and down. Let's go get a bear. It's nothing. It's like because we come from that from that fighting side, from that the innocent good times, we'll say, if it was. But it's like now we know we're all grown men. We're all handling our business, and it all supposed to make sense. It
is so crazy to see so many of the people now, because now the majority of the people that fought are the majority of the people that fought when I first started are retired or
Or coaches.
retiring
Yeah.
or coach. Yeah, sorry. When I say retired, I mean like competitive. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're still around the game. They're still training or doing whatever. Some guys are reinventing themselves, like Javon. Some guys are still doing the damn thing, like
Yeah.
Woodson and all them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's been interesting to see the game progress, change. I hope the best for all these guys because I know how hard it is to make a fucking living in that world. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's good to see him on a high level and
Yes.
not fighting for that's the main thing. It's like
Make as much
being
money as you can
yeah
while you can.
yeah get the fans, get the sponsors, get the it's just it's a blessing to see people still at their talent of what they love to do, making sure that they make the money whatever that they know they're still being able to climb and that there's no cap for them. They don't see the ceiling. They just know they can keep going. I don't know how their bodies are, any injuries, but I know that at the end of the day, it's like Charles Johnson. It's like, dude, like, and it's like, what's like? There's no way I can't say, dude, you're never gonna be champion. You guys are probably gonna be champion. There's no way around it. I mean, you guys are working your ass off. Plus, you guys are elite. Don't get to see that, and that's from St. Louis.
Yeah.
And the old and just like with Buckley, he can be champion. We just never know when it'll happen. That's the main thing. It can happen. It can happen this next. You never know. It's like the best thing about it is being able to see these guys climb, and they're still in good shape, and they're still young.
Jim Jenkins said something to me when I was like my first amateur fight. After my first amateur fight, I won by triangle choke. And then I was like, I wanted my next fight immediately. But then because of all my life and everything, I had to take a whole like 9 months off before the second fight. And I remember when I came to him for the second fight, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like I had to go fix a bunch of stuff in my life. School had started, all these other things. I'm ready now. You know what I mean? And he's like, Aaron, I'm gonna tell you something. He's like, nobody wants to admit it, but one of the biggest factors in a fighter's career is luck. You could do everything right and then leave here and get struck by a car and you lose feeling in your legs. There goes your fight career.
Yeah.
Like you could do everything right and it could all go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When you have guys that have consistently been training for so long and can navigate that injury bug, and even with Javon, like maybe you do get hurt, but then you find a different way to compete, a different avenue to compete. I think that there's people that are cut from a different cloth that create their own luck. Like Jim wasn't wrong. He was right. There are circumstances outside of our perspective. However, whenever I look at these guys that are making it to the highest levels, that are consistently fighting against the best in the world, they all seem to have that same quality of they created their own luck.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
From Javon, Woodson,
Bush,
Evan, Buckley, Dakota, all of them. And if you sat them down,
Evan's doing good.
If you sat them down, I've talked to all of them, right? Actually, I haven't talked to Javon. But for all of the other ones, I have talked to. I'll tell you what, they have a lot in common.
Yeah,
they're different guys. Like Evan Elder is different from Sean Woodson and all that. But like I'm telling you, that like a Venn diagram, they have a lot more in common than they think.
Yeah.
They're cut from the same cloth.
That was one thing. He brought up Jim. Jim, I could tell you the truth. If Jim never was real, because that was the thing with Jim. He was like, man, it was I was about to go pro. That was one thing that everybody thought I was pro, and I'm like, man, I wish, but I was supposed to go pro, and Jim was the one that was like, hey, he told me, because I was like, what, I'm 35, great athlete, but I but at the end of the day, is my body going to be able to hold up? That was one of the things that I was like, okay, what am I going to do next when it came down to acting? Because it had to be something, but, something that could feed me, we'll say. But Jim was a fantastic mentor. Just real good. I love him. Like a second dad, in terms, because he taught me so much and he was so real, to me. Not saying he wasn't, but just, to me for sure.
Yeah.
But when he said, it's like, you can do, so much other stuff, but you want to make sure, and being my age, I think I started fighting at 30, had what, 23, 24 fights. And when it came down to it, between mixed martial arts and kickboxing. So, but I was gonna go pro in kickboxing. I couldn't hang with you guys on that ground.
Well, I
So,
can't hang with you on the feet, so it's all good.
but it's like when it was said and done, it was like that was the main thing with Jim. And he was a person that said, he was a person that put it in my mind, okay, is it time to hang it up? And I always said, the Almighty, if I can't be the best, let me be able to help the best. If I can't be the best, let me be able to help the best, be able, and still be financially free with it, but let me be able at least to help the best. And it worked out where that's where I was like, okay, when I eased up, it was hard to leave, but it was meant to, tournaments and all that. I think one thing that a lot of people don't know, I got contacts. So you probably never seen with my glasses.
No.
Nobody has. And no, and that was what happened. I had a fight. It was in Branson. I'm fighting under Tilly. Gee, I can't. I don't even want to mess his name, but he'd be pissed if I but Tilly, I'm my mind's going blank. That old age, I guess. But I was beating this guy. We're going to the third round. It was this tournament. My contact slipped, and that's what deep. And they said, and I don't know if this is real, but to me, it makes total sense. But I lost. I just went on the ground. It was an MMA fight, and I just like, fuck it. I can't dodge a shot. I'm not gonna be able to dodge if he's coming to my left.
Yeah, because you can't see, so you're like, I'll rather grapple with him than
I'd rather
stand
grapple
in front
and
of
close
him if
my
I can't
eyes.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, and just fill it out. And right then, it's like, shit, there's no way I'm beating this guy up top. There's no way I'm going to be able to, go into the third round, because I was about to go into the third round. And he was like, and everybody's like, what's going on? Like, they couldn't believe that I lost the fight, because they carried him out. But my main thing is, okay, you're going to have to choke me out, because if I go into this third round, I'm going to be standing up. I don't know if I'm a better grappler than him, but I can't judge with my eyes closed because I don't know what I'm grabbing. If I'm trying to go for this, I just wasn't that good enough to be like, okay, let me go for a rear naked. I'm feeling everything. So after that, I talked to a ref. He said, you're going to have an issue if you try to go pro.
Because of the vision test.
Because of the vision test. That's what just had me it just destroyed my whole life. I can spar this. I can still spar, yada, yada.
Can I add some context to this? Mm-hmm. When you were fighting, this was before the Athletic Commission got involved with the amateurs. So I don't want to badmouth any promotions or the sanctioning bodies that they used. But essentially, there were fighters that, didn't have to do blood work. Their physicals were... Sorry. Thank you. They didn't have the blood work, or they didn't have, like, the best physicals, you know what I mean? It created this vacuum to where, like, a lot of things were able to happen at the amateur level that would not happen once the state got involved, once they went pro.
When everything started.
There was a fighter that I was supposed to fight at the amateur level because there was no blood work done. And then the fight didn't happen for politics, right? And then he went pro, and, like, he was supposed to make his pro debut or whatever. Well, first pro fight, he had to turn in blood work. He had Hep C. Mm-hmm. And then that was the last you heard of him. You know what I mean? And all I could think to myself was like, thank God we didn't fight, because, like, what if he would have, got bloody and all this other stuff? But that's, like, another example of what you're saying. It's like, you're fighting as an amateur how many times, you know what I mean? And your contact gets dislodged, and you're like, oh my God, I need to figure out what I'm going to do in this fight. And then the ref comes up to you and says, by the way, like, this is going to be an issue once you go pro, because you have to pass a vision test. And if you can't, they won't sanction you.
And that was like the end, like that's 2015 when everything started really ramping up.
I think 2016 was when the legislation passed to extend the State Athletic Commission, at least in the state of Missouri. We're talking about the state of Missouri. I don't know how it is for other states, but in the state of Missouri in 2016, legislation passed where the Athletic Commission for professionals and amateurs was uniform. So everything the pros had to do in order to get sanctioned, so did the amateurs.
That destroyed everything. I think that fight was 2013, because I still trained, and then I took a fight. I won a belt in kickboxing, Smothers. Fought on that. And then I took another MMA fight, and I just was done. I took another kickboxing match, and that's when I knew, okay, yeah, it's time It's just like, but that's the, you realize, Jim was the one that's like, hey, this and this. But if I didn't have Jim, I would have never. I don't know. I would have probably tried to keep fighting.
Yeah.
I would have never said, okay, there's other stuff I can do. It's like you said, oh, you don't, you're doing this. I never knew that I would be a great actor. I never knew that I'm building and getting way better behind the camera. I never even knew that I could do this stuff. But I would have never known if Jim didn't give me that guidance to say, hey, you're almost 40. You can't do this forever. Yeah. Even though my body's fantastic, but it's like I can't sit back and trade shin kicks with you, forever before I start feeling it more.
What I'd give to go back to feeling like what I did when I was 21, 22. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Yeah. Dude, this was absolute joy. I don't know what you got on your. I know what you have like with Javon getting him ready for his fight, but like in terms of your life, the next project, the next move, the next step, whatever that may be, I genuinely hope for your success. I hope the next conversation we have, whenever we have it in the future, we're talking about some big thing you accomplished or some hurdle that you overcame or some new milestone that you met. All right.
Appreciate you. Same.
It's been, I've known you now for how many years? 15 years?
About, yeah.
Adam?
Yeah.
You're a real one.
Hey, you are too.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being on.
All day, bro.